Hello and welcome to round 2, front 9 of FPO lead cards of the 2025 Preserve Championship presented by the Simon Line. I am Allie Smith.
And I am Raven Klein. We are back in Clearwater, Minnesota. Almost no rain today. It was kind of a delicate mist throughout the whole day. Pretty much forgot that water was coming down, but much better than yesterday. Less wind, less rain. Excited to see what scores are getting put up.
Yeah, all around better. I feel like we're going to see all around better scores. Here is our round 1 results. We saw Missy, Gannon, Silva, Saarinen shooting under par, Owen and Raven a few above par. And so today we'll be looking at Cadence, Burge, Missy, Gannon, Silva, Saarinen, and Hanna Huynh for our lead card.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this card play. Obviously, a couple players separated themselves, but just a few other players under par. Other than that, I think we're going to see a good amount of movement behind maybe our top 3 players, and I'm excited to see if anyone can really put down a hot score today.
I think so. I think we've got good conditions for it. We're going to start off hole 1, par 4, 615 feet. Throw your driver straight, get it into the fairway as far down as possible, leaving yourself with a short, easy approach if possible. Don't pinch yourself off too much. You need to cross this OB water and a nice clean green, nothing to really obstruct you. It's a kind of a nice start to the round. It's not too mean, it's not too easy. Really just takes a few precise
First
shots.
Up on the box from Alabama, please welcome Cadence Burge.
Cadence Burge. Oh, I've been playing with her since she was 13. We both started playing as AMs together. I knew she was going to be special one day.
Yeah, she's been having a great season this year. You've seen her name a lot on some of these top cards, pretty much week in and week out.
Yeah, man. She did it right. Threw a hyzer out there and got it in the middle of the fairway. I'll talk with it. This is Missy Gannon. I'm sorry.
Missy Gannon had a solid day yesterday, 91% fairway hit. Really a lot of what you need to do here. I know that seems redundant to say. Obviously, every course, it's better if you're in the fairway.
Joining us from
but
Finland, please welcome Silva, Saarinen.
At courses like this, with a lot of artificial OB, you might look like you're safe and be OB by a foot. Silva with a little bit of a low release, but I think she has plenty of distance to still go over on the second shot.
Yeah, she's closer than she was yesterday.
And from Washington, give it up for Hanna Huynh.
Here today, these 4 ladies, I would say, if you said distance throwers, these 4 maybe wouldn't come to your mind. But these 4, putting is their strong suit. So this is where I really want to see these ladies be effective today with their putter.
Yeah, and I would say they all have like sneaky distance.
Yes, not to say they're short throwers, but
no.
Yeah.
I agree. They may not be the top 4 that come to mind, but when you watch them consistently, they're getting good distance for the courses we play.
Yes.
Yeah. Missy's approach, skipping left a little bit, so she'll be outside of the circle for her birdie putt. Grass was still wet today, so we saw some skips, we saw some flares, things like that. You do have to have a lot more control at the end of flight.
Yeah, the humidity's up, so like you said, kind of playing in a cloud changes the aspects up a bit.
It does. Silva inside the circle was still looking at a deep putt. Hanna swinging hers wider than the other 2. Love that. Right at the basket. With her curl, she'll be looking at about 20 feet.
Before we get further and letting them take their up shots here, what do we think will be the easiest hole today?
I'm going to say 15. I just feel
par 5?
Par 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great choice. Well, I'm gonna go with 2 today. We didn't actually talk about what was the easiest hole yesterday. It was a tie between holes 2 and hole 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so no real answer. A little bit of an obstructed putt, but not just
left it low.
And she had a similar putt yesterday to get it started, so let's see if she can pick up where she left off.
Yeah, I don't know about you. Sometimes I feel like when I par hole 1, I'm like, okay, good. But if I birdie hole 1, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Is that what am I going to keep that up the whole day? And a bogey, nothing but up.
Exactly. Yeah, all positives. No problem for Silva there with that birdie. As I was talking about these 4 ladies being really good putters, You'll notice that Cadence has a bit of a different putting stroke. It's a straight leg in the front, a hyzer, aggressive hyzer, but it's dialed.
Very. Hanna, good for her birdie putt.
3 for 4 there on lead card, picking up the birdie.
And Missy will tap in her par, no problem.
Yep. The drop in par feels better than like a putt for par. So
Correct.
they were all putting for birdie. Good start there.
Through hole 1 with that birdie, Cadence will take the lead from Missy. And we can see Rebecca Cox having a good start to her day.
Hey everyone, I want to let you know today's video is sponsored by Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is our childhood reinvented. It's the same great taste we all remember, but with grown-up ingredients. Like most of us, growing up, eating cereal was one of the best parts of my day. But as an adult, it has way too much sugar and not enough protein. But with Magic Spoon, I'm able to enjoy one of my favorite childhood treats once again. What I like about Magic Spoon's cereal and treats is they're great for on the go when you need a boost of protein for those long rounds on the course. And Magic Spoon has a ton of variety, so there's sure to be something that you like. Between the cereal and the treats, there are over 16 flavors to choose from. So if you want to try Magic Spoon, use code JomezPro or click the link down below to try Magic Spoon's cereal or treats today and get $5 off. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed by a 100% happiness guarantee online. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. So do yourself a favor, try Magic Spoon today. Just go to magicspoon.com/JomezPro or click the link down below or scan the QR code on the screen to get $5 off. Thanks once again to Magic Spoon for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to it.
Hole 2, we have a double mando right off the tee. Compared to some of the places we play, pretty sizable gap. It plays well to throw something flat that flexes to the right through where the drone just went and can just fade toward the basket here. It's only 280 feet, so this feels like one you really want to get, although the elevated pin does make it difficult if you shoot past the basket or you end up too far left or right.
Yeah, and I was talking with Missy about disc selections with holes like this, right? 280, it's a bit shorter, and you know, she's like, it's okay to go fairway if you need to go fairway. Like, throw whatever you need to throw. So we're going to see some mids and maybe a putter or two, but even a fairway is fine. So just like knowing that it's okay. Just because everyone else is throwing something slow, do what you need to do.
Yeah, and I think that's actually a huge thing because sometimes it just comes down to comfort. Mm-hmm. You know, there might be someone who, yeah, they can throw a mid this far. That's not the problem, but it feels better to throw like a 7-speed or something.
Yes.
Stick to your game.
Silva there puts it inside the circle, hits the gap, slow flying disc.
Yeah, and Cadence also very controlled, super straight shot. Hanna flipping something up a little bit, but doesn't get the turn out of it and does catch that tree in the middle of the fairway. Should be an easy up and down though.
And Missy kind of doing something similar, maybe just out of her hand a little bit early, trying to hyzer flip it.
Should be in the little ditch that's on the right side. There isn't any OB on this hole, unless you were to somehow end up in the pond on the left side.
Right.
But that would probably be more challenging than the hole itself.
Oops. A little head shake there from Hanna. That's unfortunate, but looks like good attitude moving forward.
Definitely.
Nice little pitch up from Missy out of that bunker. Safe bunker. Hanna electing not to give that a run with that elevated basket. She knows she already kind of made the mistake with the upshot. But here's a birdie look.
Good putt.
Capitalizing on that putt. Being effective. That's what I said. Got to do it.
I think that's what's crazy about this hole sometimes is as easy as it is to just smoothie one up there and have a look at two. You see a lot of players not get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I probably shouldn't have picked this as the easiest, but...
But any day it could be, which is like any of the 3 days, which is kind of crazy. It did not play as it was actually the 8th easiest. So it was right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
But I would like to do a quick shout out. There actually was an ace on hole 2 today. It was right behind me.
Whoa.
Because we all turned and we're like, who was it? And it was Shelby Dutton from Iowa.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. I wonder if anybody got that. Pick, a little phone.
Like a video. Yeah, I'd be curious about that. I want to see it. Cadence,
played hard,
2 for 2.
It played harder today under much better
conditions.
Conditions.
Yeah.
Interesting. Hole 3. We are playing the B position here, so we're going to the right side basket. You want something that is going to hold a big turn or just go straight between the 2 baskets. The right side is not out of bounds, but it is a severe drop-off with more trees than there are in the fairway. So you kind of want to stay up on the shelf if possible, and maybe short, so you're having a putt towards the shelf instead of down the shelf.
Yeah, this is a great pin position for anybody with like the flex forehand at only 324 feet. You don't have to be full power for this shot to be in the circle. Cadence with a very smooth, straight approach at it. Looking around 24 feet.
This can be a bit of a bait hole if you try to pull it too far to the right. Silva's didn't pull to the right, but just kind of skips down there. That's actually a really good shot.
She got a little jump at the end.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brush on the hill, so I don't think there's going to be too much for rolling. I have a feeling she kind of sat on the side of the hill.
And there's kind of what I was talking about with Missy, trying to kind of force an Anheuser shot that is the same disc she threw to the A position. So it leaves her a little right and short.
Hanna just avoiding the right side entirely. I don't hate this play. An unfortunate roll down the hill, but I think just going straight, staying in the middle of the fairway, giving yourself a long putt if you want to try for it, but the easy par.
To me, it looked as if it just maybe came out early. It had enough power and speed for it to roll that far.
Yeah, definitely.
So she has an easy choice of a pitch up. No attacking the basket there. Oh, actually didn't leave Missy very short. She
there
made
we
me
go.
eat my words. Great birdie, Missy.
Yeah, she was able to just nestle at the top of the hill. Really nice. So Silva went down a little bit.
But inside the circle.
Misses right side. Good height, but tickles the chains.
Probably some trees to contend with there.
Definitely. Not the angle that we had.
3 for 3 start.
Very nice.
Oh, yes, Cadence. She's so slow and deliberate, collecting her emotions. I know her as a person. Look how calm she looks.
Yeah,
she just got 3 birdies in a row.
She doesn't really have too much for a spike in emotion.
Yes.
Some players very excited when they make anything happen, and Cadence is controlled.
Yes, good cleanup on the par there from Hanna. And also for par. Nice from Silva. I think this position will stay. I think
that's a good change.
Would you like it over the left position? We only played right.
I don't think I would, because I like seeing people who try and park the middle and do flirt with the left side OB.
That's fair.
Hole 4, par 4, 675 feet. If you want to be aggressive, you can throw a high ante and try and sweep to the right and get close to this gap. Most players are throwing something straight to land by the 3 trees and then trying to look straight down the tunnel, and they can get up there for the chance at a birdie. This one is not birdied often, but it feels great when you can get it. The basket's at the end here in a little bit of a bowl, so there's not too much risk for going for that aggressive approach. This looks really nice from Cadence.
Flexing out in front of the trees. That's prime positioning there. Maybe a little right, but all the distance.
Yeah, that would be just barely, because that between the second and third tree is lined up with the tunnel. Missy not trying to turn it over, so she's going to have more of a mid-flight gap to hit, which does make it more difficult, but she got the distance.
I can imagine how difficult it is to go from aggressively windy and rainy to decently calm now as we're looking and throwing maybe the same disc. We're like, do I change frisbees from yesterday to today? And like, what did I do in practice when it was calm? It's kind of a lot of thinking going on.
Yeah. Or even yesterday, if I missed my shot, was it the disc or was it the weather?
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot. Silva left her shot low, and Hanna clips a branch going a little too inside, so she didn't quite get the distance. Silva kind of going for the layup that can push the tunnel, which is very nice.
Yeah, eat as much distance as possible.
Yeah. Takes the birdie out of play. Sans a throw in, of course, but
Yes.
Hanna going aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
That's so good. A beautiful turnover. Held the line really nicely. She didn't give it too much height for it to fade out. It's a beautiful shot from Hanna.
She's definitely got a look. Missy is going, looks like high-speed driver here through this small gap. Hits it.
See, Missy pushed the perfect amount of distance where she can hyzer through those trees. It's really hard when you have to do like a turnover or a full flex, not only through the gap, but through the tunnel as well.
Oh, she's lined up perfectly here, Cadence.
This is ideal.
Maybe a little low. Hits the line.
Yeah, but I was hoping she'd get a little more ground play. Good shot. I'm sure she's a little bit bummed to be that, you know,
Short.
lined up.
Yes.
And then not get there. But we'll see a couple C2 bids here for birdie.
Yeah, yesterday her C2 percentage was really high. I think 50%.
Yeah.
I'll have to check.
Silva with a good approach. She'll be just outside the bullseye to save her par. Missy with a long bid, just leaves it low under the koozie.
Cadence was 75% C2 round one. So this,
Wow.
I would count this in. I'm counting it in. Let's go, Cadence.
All right. For Allie.
Oh, I had the distance.
None for you today.
None for me. Just a little left. That's okay. She would have got a loon.
Oh.
She'll just take the turkey.
Hanna swinging hers out wide. Oh, top of the cage.
Like I said, that putting is their strong suit, so I'm very glad that they're going for those confidently.
Cadence will clean up a par on the fourth.
Yeah, hole 4 today. We only saw one birdie. Lexi Marks, shout out to her.
Well done, Lexi.
It's a tough birdie to get.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. Just going to have some par cleanups here from the hole card. Hanna tapping in and Missy from under the basket. 4 for 4. Not a bad way to play that hole.
Yeah. Ooh, checking in with Kristen a lot on the chase card on hole 5, the par 5. I love that she goes for this entire tunnel shot. Wow, that's the furthest I've seen. And a check-in with Rebecca Cox. Yesterday was her birthday.
Yeah, nothing like a good old Friday the 13th birthday.
Oh my gosh, she had like snow boots on.
A little bit lower for Rebecca's, but really good position.
Ooh, is she
She's
going
good
for
at these
this?
backhand turnovers.
Not like going, but she was going like
Yeah.
distance through the gap. That's
Correct.
Beautifully done.
Really smooth, nice controlled shot. This is 2 days in a row where we've seen Kristen get the distance but have to go to a kneeling forehand.
Yeah, too far. But it's going to lay this up in
She's playing this
same spot.
to like the same exact
Yeah.
spot.
She can just go straight at it. Her upshot was so clean.
Get some good ground play. Edge of the circle for Rebecca.
Let's see if Kristen can approach this a little better. Yes, she does.
Good height.
Yep. Really committed to the angle, comparing to yesterday, I mean.
Yes. And just taps the
Bases.
koozie.
Let's go.
Beautiful. Birdie from Rebecca Cox
Full
on
extension.
hole 5.
Good.
She must have been chilly this morning.
Yeah, it was cold.
And Kristen with the tap-in birdie.
Chase card's cooking. It's like 55 degrees here in Minnesota, and back in Missouri it's in the 90s.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, we're seeing movement on this leaderboard here.
Does it concern you how much Infinite Discs uses your likeness in their marketing?
No, not at all. First off, the Alpaca is an amazing putter.
Right.
And Alpacas don't miss. Shout out my guy Proctor. And Infinite Discs is a great company. They have like 100,000 discs in stock, so their selection and prices are incredible. So I'm not concerned about being associated with them. I'll tell you what does concern me though.
What?
The rise of AI.
Oh yeah, that's scary stuff.
AI is everywhere and also like so hard to tell it was real. I was not.
Hole 5, the par 5 we were just speaking of. You've got a tunnel shot. I think most people are just trying to get as far as possible, maybe to these kind of piney trees, to then lay up to maybe this tee pad or further into the gap ideally before throwing a nice tight tunnel. You don't really want to get off the fairway left or right. If you can keep the disc low and straight, you're going to give yourself a look at a birdie, with it being 695 feet, par 5. But there's a lot of danger. Just throw it flat, hit the gap.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, Cadence hitting one of the early trees.
But same reaction as she did when she came off with 3 birdies. So she'll be okay.
That's true.
Missy going with that driver again, that thrasher. Leaves it a little left, but gets a kick out. Okay. She'll be on the dance floor. Be able to
Nice
keep moving.
nudge from the sumac. Not fun to be in there.
Is it poison sumac?
No.
Okay. So it could be less fun.
Could be less fun. Silva also riding that left line. She gets a kick to the middle of the fairway.
Kind of the signature drifting drive from Silva.
Yeah, if you're not going full power or full distance, a lot of players are just taking whatever disc they feel comfortable throwing straight and trying to be on that little path in the middle.
A little bit of like a swoop from Hanna and pulls it into that bushy right tree. That's unfortunately a good guardian tree, bush. Let's see what Cadence can do. She's pretty much right at the tee pad. And is going
That's a great shot.
Yeah, has to be aggressive. I mean, she's still probably out, like first up, but
Yeah.
that's a great recovery shot.
Oh, got just in front of
Close.
Hanna.
Yeah. This has got to make almost like a full 90-degree turn to get in position.
Oh,
Tree
another good
helps.
kick.
Yeah.
Okay. Lead card's getting a little bit of love here on hole 5.
Long ways to go still for Cadence. She can get up and down with some nice placed fairway shots. Let's see if this... Oh,
That is a beautiful turn. Oh, I want to know what disc that was. That held the line so well.
Yeah, it's got to be one of her flippy putters. She's really good at throwing those. She doesn't throw a forehand. She can. She doesn't really. So she's had a lot of time and practice with those high-level backhand shots like we're seeing here from Missy. That's amazing.
That was like 3 for 3 with very controlled backhand shots. That's I want to say that's the trouble with being on the right side, but they did not make it look like it was a problem.
No cut rolls from any of them. Landed nice and flat.
Personally, that is also one of my favorite shots. So
Okay.
if I'm going to error, I don't mind being on the right side because of that.
All of them just did it so
but that
well.
was 4 for 4. So there's a reason they're on the lead card right now.
Yes, obviously.
Hanna with another turnover shot. This one's going to leak a little bit to the right side.
Fading out, though. That's
Right on the
putt
edge.
range.
That's
Yep.
great. I love when players can use the full width of this tunnel. High left side fades all the way to the right side, and then they can just glide to the middle of the fairway. And it's one of my favorite shots in disc golf. A beautiful approach from Silva. She can just tap it in for birdie.
Wow, after that drive, Cadence has put herself in opportunity to get up and down. It's an uncomfortable position. She gets all of the distance.
So uses her height. Good catch by the tree.
She's putting.
Missy lined up very nicely. Smooth shot. Throw it in.
Yeah, so yeah, if that didn't hit that tree, it might have.
In the bullseye
Right there
for
the
a
four.
birdie.
Yep.
They could feel that they were like, oh, Chase Card did well. We should probably. Oh, Hanna Huynh just catching the band. That is a great bid for her birdie. for Cadence to save par after hitting first available.
Branch in her face, knee straddle, spins it left side.
Great.
Yeah, that's an amazing par save. You're frustrated because you do want to get a birdie here, but you got to be stoked on that.
I feel like that just shows the type of competitor she is, to be upset about the par save.
Yes.
When she got 15 feet off the tee. Not surprisingly, Missy tapped in her birdie from about 6 feet. Silva tapping in her birdie, and Hanna tapping in a par. Well played hole by our lead card here today. Missy will gain a stroke back on Cadence there and bring it within 1. Silva only back 3. And we can see Rebecca Cox having a great day. 5 down through 6. Bringing us to hole 6, one of the new holes for this year. We play a similar tee shot as if the basket was where it was last year, which is just straight. If you go early right, you're cutting yourself off, although there is a sneaky window through the rough. Once you're at the corner, it's easier to get to the pin by throwing a hyzer around this pine tree. If you go inside, you do bring in 3 little trees to contest with, and people get stuck in there a lot. So you can break the hole down with a good 280 to 320 foot range off the tee.
The 3 little trees, one made of stick, one made of hay, and one made of stone.
One made of stone. Missy leaks left here. The hole that this comes from at the preserve is part of the Red Fox layout, so she's actually close to the original tee pad for where the second shot is.
Oh, okay. Drifting a little right from Silva. Kind of want to avoid over there. She will be forced to kind of pitch out.
Yeah, she'll either have that window that she can go through, or you can pitch out. Ooh, a little bit of a slip there from Cadence, but still a very straight shot. So she'll actually be on the tee pad.
Right. I say, honestly, I am so surprised to see how well the competitors are handling the ground conditions. The parking lots are not.
Yeah, we got people stuck in mud everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of 3 out of 4 leaking left here. I do think that that's the error versus being in the brush on the right side. It does extend your second shot, but Hanna's still lined up perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
Looks like that was almost a little slip.
Catches that one guardian ceiling tree.
That's unfortunate, and it could be tough for her to save her par from there.
Okay, these looked more shallow than they actually are. They all have wide open alleyways to the
Missy
basket.
went inside the pine and was able to clear the 3 trees, and she is just outside the bullseye.
I do think that's actually the play. I think it's harder to get to the pin or going around. Hindsight, now that she does have.
So Silva is taking that little window.
What?
Wow.
No way.
That's a great shot.
Cheeky.
Yeah, we got our Silva smile. Rare.
Adamando. I'm just kidding. That's crazy. She just was able to. Oh, dang. Yeah. Well,
getting in the cedar trees here, there isn't an option.
I know that this hole played pretty difficult for the birdie for MPO yesterday. I think FPO as well. I think that, we're seeing our competitors get up to the green though, so it is doable. Just 2 really heavy chains from Cadence. This left side though. After the layup that she had to have, she'll take the 5. That's not a bad bogey. For the birdie. Let's go, Missy.
Good putt.
That'll put her 3 down through the round.
Yeah, today this hole was the 6th hardest. So, right up there in the top 3rd.
Yeah.
But you don't have as many crazy things happening here.
Silva with the blind birdie, I'll call it. Did you think she knew where she was throwing? Other than
maybe
the gap's there
idea.
And the fairway's this way. And
I will say in practice, when I saw that, I was like, I think this gap's going to be like really useful.
Okay.
And as much as I never want to be in there,
Right.
I knew that if I pulled it right, I wasn't too worried. I was like, there's an opening, and it's pretty large.
Here we are, hole 7, new par 5. I love this par 5. You want to throw a hyzer over the water, just be safe. Left side, there's no out of bounds. We only need to avoid the water. Throw a second shot. I think these trees usually are about 400 feet away from a good drive, so you don't really have to worry about going long. And then take a nice approach through the gap at the basket. If you're a little bit more on the right side, you may have to throw a hyzer around the outside. You might see some forehands, but it's so calm, kind of dealer's choice. Just a big hyzer for the first 2 shots, though.
Yeah, there are few players in this field where there is a ton of benefit by doing something risky over the water to get that extra distance, because no one's going over in 2.
No, I played a practice round with Taylor Chosek, and I was like, oh, yeah, can you 3 it? And she's like, I could, but it just takes too much risk and not worth it when a birdie is pretty standard.
Yeah. I think sometimes people forget, or they just don't think about it. I'm like, you can do a nice controlled shot off the tee and then do your big boomy shot. Mm-hmm. No one says you have to do the boomy shot off the tee.
Yes.
But people want to.
Right. So far, competitors here putting it right in the middle of the fairway. Maybe a little left, but that don't matter.
Can definitely see people getting a little more distance today without the headwind making them nervous to throw it flat.
Right.
But still, nothing aggressive.
Yeah, they're well 400 feet from the water's edge here, so another big distance driver. This time we will see the disc kind of fade left. Yesterday they were being held up and kept more to the right. This is more of the standard shots.
Most players are kind of aiming for this big tree on the right and just letting it hyzer in. But there is space along the entire left side. If someone got nervous about it or was maybe further up, they could just go left and you still have great gaps to look at.
Yes. Well done so far from our competitors. Everyone's safe and in bounds. Like I said, this is just in some rough, but safe and standard.
This is definitely a par 5 where if you don't get the birdie, you're like, I feel like I wasted that.
Definitely. A musket.
Clipping a couple low branches there from Hanna. Leaks to the right side, so she'll be in C2 for her putt, but safe.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a yank or a miss late release.
Missy lined up perfectly here. She can throw a soft hyzer at the basket. Dropping. Oh, I don't know if she crossed. The line isn't far away from the top, so there is a chance, but the stuff is pretty grabby.
It's very easy to let this shot slip away, being a little too short. Here we're going to see Cadence put a little bit more oomph behind it. Puts her right in the circle. That's how it's done.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of players who are within that 250 range throwing the hyzer, and things are just dropping over the pond.
Yes, and I think we're with the 250, we're maybe opting to go a little slower speed disc here. We see a putter from Silva. She's less than 250. But with that, maybe there's a little less commitment to the shot.
Definitely.
Let's see where they've given Missy a lie. She looks like she's, taking it on the short side.
Yeah, I did not think she got high enough for that rope. Now throwing another hyzer. She juices this one a little bit. You don't want to do it twice.
Exactly.
It already sucks to do it one time. Hanna trying to decide if it's worth running this putt for birdie or if she just wants to lay up and tap in a par.
Be effective. Be effective.
Do it.
Oh. It was effective. I'm glad you ran it because that is your strong suit. That was so close.
Yeah, I like the run there. Okay to give it a softer bid to avoid having a big comeback.
Yes, and no fear of the water there from Hanna.
No.
Missy needs this one.
Right side cage.
Lucky to not have a bad reaction there, honestly, off the cage.
Ooh.
The MVP
a little
love.
high, but good.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That one looked different than her other putts.
It sure did. It was not the same. It's elevated. Blame it on that.
Cadence putting for birdie at the water. She hyzers more on the left side, and with her putt, that is tough to stick.
Yes. That is her third putt now we've seen left side. So let's see if she can kind of correct that.
Missy in for the double bogey here on hole 7.
I'd be curious to know when the last double bogey from Missy was.
Oh, just in general.
I mean, she's been playing bogey free. She's been playing single bogeys.
I wonder.
Is it the Open at Austin at Sprinkle Valley where it probably wasn't a double, you know what I mean? But
yeah. Oh yeah, specifically double or just like double or worse?
Double or worse. I
okay.
guess, yeah. I'm gonna look it up later.
Please tell me when you do.
Uh-huh. Movement. Here we go again.
Yeah, we have a swap there.
Down to third now.
We can see Kristen, Rebecca, and Holland putting up some good rounds here and moving up on the leaderboard. Hole 8, par 3, 297, absolutely beautiful. Today, I think we're going to see a lot more people getting close to the basket. We saw the headwind bringing people into the right side. The only thing you have to worry about here is the water. So even if you send it long, there are a couple alleyways if you go deep, but you're trying to throw something with a nice stability at the right side and let it just fade in toward the basket.
It's so calm out. Looks like a mirror.
I would say, yeah, yesterday it had waves.
Keep going. Keep going.
Nice shot there from Silva. Fairly common error to go too straight at the basket.
As Madison would
and
say.
And then be left.
The red zone of the heat map.
Of course she would.
Yes. A bit of a slip there from Cadence. Causes her to kind of overcommit to the shot, but she's in the back alleyway. There is an open, clean line usually from there.
This looks really nice from Hanna. Should just drop, maybe not too much for skip. Very nice.
Yeah, a little straddle out.
I think it's so funny. We expect just like the best stuff. So I called it an error when she skipped like 15 feet to the left.
Yep.
She's still looking inside the circle birdie, but people aren't always happy with that. Missy about 3 inches from hitting the base. A great shot from her.
Perfect example. Missy threw a thrasher there, and it is a under 300-foot hole. So throw what you need to. Cadence actually went longer.
Oh,
so she still had a look.
That's a good bid.
Yeah.
Having to put a little bit downhill. She hits the top of the band. Hanna, nice catch on the right side of that basket.
There we go.
They catch that right side putt so much better.
They do. And like angle is important, right?
Yes,
the hyzer
definitely.
versus the flat, like Silva's got.
A good putt from Silva. She'll get her birdie. That is 4 in a row for Silva, so she earns the loon.
And she's only had 2 pars today. Why have I not felt like I've said, and another birdie from Silva? I should have more. Well, there's a birdie from Missy after that double. Great bounce back.
Snuck up on me too.
Yeah,
I like looked down and I was
wait.
like, wait a second.
2 pars.
Cadence with the par.
I can see she's getting a little frustrated with herself and her putt, but she has to remember she's aggressively in this race for the win.
Definitely.
The win.
Through 8 holes with that birdie, Silva ties Cadence. So and she's on fire right now. I mean, she's doing a great job. Everything is very smooth.
What we got? Hole 9, par 3, tough 297-foot uphill, turning to the right. You don't want to get suckered into throwing it into the brush to the right. It's very dense and thick, hard to even pitch out of. If you let it fade left, great. You can pitch up to the basket unobstructedly. It's very slopey. This is a good angle here. difficult hole for the distance that it is.
Yeah, Allie kind of called this like a bait. You know, you want to try and get it to turn, but you don't need to. This is a great shot from Silva, probably the best one we've seen.
Yes.
Actually giving it the distance and just letting it, you know, sweep to the right side. With forehand players, there are people out here with the distance, but the way a forehand hits this hill, you get a lot of rollaways, whereas that backhand can just nestle into the side of the hill. Hanna getting kind of lucky there with the branches, not just knocking her down, but letting her continue her forward movement.
With that same thrasher Missy's got.
Good correction from yesterday.
Yes.
Missy just going straight.
Steep C2 putt, but
I think that that's great. You
yes.
don't bring the woods into play. You still have a chance at the birdie.
This is looking good.
Just a little shy.
Yeah. Checks up, but it's just a touch short.
Yeah. I think the reason I like where Missy landed better than Cadence is that as a right-handed player, her putt will just land on the hill, whereas Cadence's putt now matches the hill slope. So if she were to miss, she's going to go downhill.
Yes. And notice how she putted with a different putter.
Yep. And she just
kind of got one she knows it
got
won't.
close.
Hyzer left. Yeah.
Yes,
full extension.
Missy.
It didn't look that far, but you can tell how much effort she had to put in that putt to get it up that high.
Yeah. That was a beautiful putt from Missy. Our first slow miss of the day. Yeah, that's all her body.
Mm-hmm. Good follow through. Good right side. Catch.
Good work.
That's a great way to finish her front nine. Unfortunate double, but
got him back right away.
Sure did. Another birdie look from Silva. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
7.
what? Oh, that's 5. So we add stuff to the loon?
Biggie bag! Yeah! Loon with a biggie bag. And I think it's a golden sombrero.
Is that next?
I think that's actually what 5 is. I made up the biggie bag.
Okay.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Well, we love to see it. That's going to wrap up our front 9. Silva, 7 down through 9. She is solo lead right now. Cadence and Missy tied up. You can see Kristen with a 5 down for the round. She's moving up. A 5 down from Eliezra. I mean, people are taking advantage of the weather.
Yes, we're seeing a lot more under par scores overall, all the way down here to tied for 15th. Everyone on the round has an under par score. Conditions are much better. I think we're seeing people in a much better mindset too, emotionally.
Definitely.
You know, like
yeah, it's a
gotta
lot
be
easier.
Happier time playing disc golf, you know. So I think we're going to see a lot more movement still in this back 9.
Definitely. I mean, 3 of the hardest holes yesterday were on the back 9, so I'm curious to see how they're going to play that, but we look forward to it. Thank you so much for watching this front 9. If you want to check out the rest of it, make sure that you subscribe to Jomez, and a shout out to all the Patreon.
Like, comment, subscribe. 500,000. Let's get there.
We will see you on the back 9.
Thanks. Bye.
Watch your body and I feel that sunshine.